Welcome to Walk the Line. I'm your host, OG Chris Murray. Y'all know what time it is. It is football time in the DML, and I'm here to provide y'all with those Week 12 golden picks. Let's dive right into it. First up, we have Embro and the Green Bay Packers versus under 2 rated and the Washington Redskins. The Packers enter this matchup without superstar strong safety Darnell Savage, X-Factor wide receiver Nolan, X-Factor running back Tony Pollard, who all will be sidelined due to injuries. And to make things even worse, the Green Bay Packers organization just got word from the commissioner team that they have to sit their starting quarterback and their starting running back due to a rule violation. Now, even though the Green Bay Packers are going to Washington pretty much standing on one leg, Vegas does not think that the Washington Redskins has a chance in this matchup. They have the Packers heavily favored by 9.5 points. Under 2 rated. You have to enter and play this game with a chip on your shoulder because this is flat out disrespect. But I think Vegas got this one right, so this is a no-brainer with me. I'm going to take the Green Bay Packers, getting the W, going into Week 13. Moving on, we got Marizi and the New Orleans Saints versus Taz and the Cincinnati Bengals. Both of these guys enter this matchup with teams heading in the opposite direction. The Saints is hoping to keep their playoff race alive. They have to win this matchup. But in this matchup, Marizi, you have to play the user and not the record. If you think that Taz is going to bend over and just take it, you'll be madly mistaken. The defensive front four is going to have to control this game for you because right now you're facing a user who's averaging 6.5 yards per carry on the ground. You're going to have to cut that in half and force him to put the game into his quarterback's hands. Now, Taz, you've been playing strong all season, but for some reason, your coaching staff has been causing you key matchups with the play calling. This game right here is pretty much a motivation builder for you guys for next season because all playoff hopes are pretty much down the drain. This is going to be a good game, man. It's going to be a good game. But I'm here to provide you with the picks. So with my pick, I'm going to have to go with Taz and the Bengals getting the W at home, building some form of motivation, trying to get their guys pumped up and ready for next season. Moving on, we got Westside Pablo and the Philadelphia Eagles versus Ralph and the Minnesota Vikings. Westside, if you plan on locking up a playoff spot in an already tight NFC conference, this is a must-win. You have to hit the film room. You're going up against an owner who can't protect their quarterback if their lives depend on it. Okay? Listen to me. They cannot protect their quarterback if their lives depended on it. D-tackle guys like Sheldon Richardson, left end Derek Burnett, right end Josh Sweat has to get fucking fired up because this is the matchup that they have been waiting for because they're going up against a struggling offensive line. Ralph, man, what's going on in Minnesota? There's so much talent, but you can't seem to figure out how to get productions on either side of the ball. You're ranked at the bottom half in the league in all defensive categories, but I guess don't blame the defense in this one, ladies and gentlemen, because they can't seem to figure out how to convert on third down. You're sitting at the bottom half of the league, ranked at a 30% on the season on converting the third down. That's not going to work, young fella. You got to cut your defense a break, and you cannot have them on the field 90% of the game. But like I said, I'm here to provide you with them picks. So this is a no-brainer with me, man. I got Westside Pablo and the Philadelphia Eagles getting the W, going into Week 13, keeping their playoff hopes alive. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, we got the Yes. This is the shit bowl game. This is a no-brainer right here, man. We got two guys who are pretty much basically shitting it up this season, shit-watering it up this season, however you want to label their season. It has to start with shit. Now, Skilled Trade and the Bills can't seem to figure out how to stop beating themselves and versus beating on their opponents. Tone, I don't understand what's going on out there in New England. This is not the type of culture that we're used to seeing in New England. We're used to seeing these guys being heavily favored every single season at a chance at winning the banner. But being though they've been took over by new ownership, the culture has switched up. Now, some people are saying that these guys are tanking, hoping that they can land a quarterback in this upcoming draft. But I don't know what's going on. But listen to me, Tone. Do it for the fans in this one. Do it for the fans. This is a game that they expect y'all to win, man. Come out, put together a solid game plan, man. Like I said, do it for the fans. But I gotta make a pick. Even though this is the shit bowl, I definitely think Tone is going to put it together, man. He's going to come out, play off that home crowd energy, and going to lock him up his first win of the season. And first win of the season, man, getting him a W going into week 13. Moving on, we got Richie and the Giants versus the Bus and the Chicago Bears. Listen, man, this game right here, after taking a tough loss last week, this is the perfect matchup for the Bus, okay? This is the matchup where you can get your guys back on the right track and build some more confidence and some more form of motivation, because you're home, y'all going up against a struggling New York Giants team on the offense side of the ball. Their defense is playing pretty good, but their offense is not matching the level of play of their defense. This is a game right here, okay, where they will be without superstar X-Factor wide receiver Kirkland Campbell, okay? Stack the box and force him to pass the ball. By you eliminating the run and putting this game on the quarterback's shoulder, you're allowing that beast, Khalil Mack, to continue to wreak havoc on the DML and keep him on pace to possibly winning the DML MVP award on the season. Okay, so this is a no-brainer right here. I'm going with the Chicago Bears in the Bus, getting a W going into week 13. Moving on, we got Niner time in the San Francisco 49ers versus Jay and the Seattle Seahawks. This game right here, man. Whew. Niner time enters this matchup coming off, on my opinion, the best performance overall by this team on both sides of the ball. Okay, they was clicking on all cylinders. The offense put up over 500 plus total yards, and the defense was playing like, I'm talking about like this game right here. Everyone was playing like they was flat out on a 1-year deal, playing like they was trying to get paid. They caused a total of 11 turnovers. 11 turnovers. But the question is this right here. Can Coach Kyle Shanahan figure out how to keep these guys motivated on the road, headed to a tough environment in Seattle? JB, you're going up against a blazing hot 49ers defense who caused 11 turnovers last week, okay? Russell Wilson and head coach Harold Tibbetts is going to have to put their heads together in this matchup. You're going to have to put your heads together in this matchup and figure out how to win this game at home, because this right here is going to be one of y'all tests. Because this team, San Francisco 49ers team right now, is playing lights out football. So you're going to have to figure out how to come up with a solid game plan to put your team in the best position to get in the W. I just don't think that y'all guys have enough. I think the San Francisco 49ers team, the way they played last week, head coach Kyle Shanahan is going to figure out how to keep these guys motivated and hungry, and is going to run through the Seattle Seahawks. So with my pick, I'm taking the San Francisco 49ers getting the W going to week 13. Next up, we have the Broncos Darkness versus Sweets and those Arizona Cardinals. This game is going to come down to one thing and one thing only. Can the scoreboard keep up with how many touchdowns that Sweets is going to be putting up on this Broncos defense? Because Vegas opened up the floodgates with this one. They have the Arizona Cardinals heavily favored by 30 points. Ooh, I think this is one of the most highest lines that the DML has had to date. And I think Vegas got this one right. So this is a no-brainer. I'm taking Sweets with the line, getting the W going to week 13. Moving on, we got Andy and those Las Vegas Raiders versus Vitamin and the LA Chargers. Sam Darnold seemed to still be in the Christmas spirit, man. He loves giving it away. Out of their last 3 matchups, Sam Darnold has been responsible for a total of 14 turnovers. 14 turnovers. Young fella, if you plan on having your team in a position to where as though they're playing for the division crown and contender for at least a playoff spot, it's not going to work, young fella. You need to stop being on from the most generous to the most stingiest, because right now, young fella, you is taking your team down with you, and you are the anchor for this season sinking, okay? Vitamin, you're going up against a struggling quarterback this week. You're on the bubble right now, sitting right outside that wild card spot. You have to enter this matchup with a mentality of, do you want to make the playoffs or do you want to go home? Okay? You beat this team a couple weeks ago by a large margin. This matchup right here, you have the formula already. Stick to the game plan and attack that quarterback with Joey Bosa. Your secondary is going to have to hit the film room and understand where Sam Darnold likes to place the ball and make him think harder. Just go watch the 49ers game. Just go study the film on what the 49ers did to him last week. And you should, like I said, be able to secure a W. However, I think I'm going with my gut on this one. I'm going with my gut. I think that somehow, some way, Andy and these Raiders find some form of hope, and be able to go into LA and secure them a W on the road, a bounce back win. Sam Darnold shaking that giveaway spirit and putting his team in the best position to win in Los Angeles. So with my pick, I'm taking the Raiders, getting a W on the road going into week 13. Next up, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars and SJ versus KP and the Kansas City Chiefs. This game right here is going to have, SJ is going to have to play chess, not checkers in this matchup. Okay, you're on the road, heading into hostile territory. Okay, your top guys is going to have to lead you in this one. Okay, Josh Allen is going to have to impact this game pretty much. He's going to have to impact this game against the run, and he's going to have to disrupt the passing game. Okay, Ramsey and Awuzie is going to have their hands full sticking guys like John Ross and Tyreek Hill. So that third guy is going to have to step up and not allow Hardman to get off. Okay, the Chiefs, you are coming off of a good win last week against a tough Cleveland Browns team. Okay, y'all are figuring out how to combine a good run game with an already deadly passing game. Okay, but this is the thing right here. The success is not to this offense. The success is to J.J. Watt, who's sitting with 16 sacks at the age of 33, and he's still showing that he can produce at a high level. Okay, since J.J. Watt has entered this defense, all defensive categories have went through the roof, including a guy by the name of Frank Clark, who seemed to disappear and went MIA 3 seasons ago. So it's going to come down in this match. What's going to come down in this matchup is this right here. Who can get the checkmate first? Because this is going to have to be a chess match and not a checkers match. Okay, but who can get the checkmate first? Which guy can take away the other guy's key move, make the other guy key pieces non-factors? This is going to be a good one. This easily could have been a DML game of the week, baby. This is going to be a good one. With my pick, okay, this is a tough pick, but I'm going to have to go with the Jacksonville Jaguars getting the W, because I just think that Josh Allen is going to tear this game up and is going to be able to impact on slowing down the run game and also disrupting the passing game. So with my pick, man, I'm taking the Jacksonville Jaguars, getting the W, going into week 13. Next up, we have my Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Schemer and those New York Jets. This game right here, for my Pittsburgh Steelers, is going to come down to, can we take care of the ball? Okay, we're entering this matchup with our rookie quarterback, who seems to get a little bit somewhat trigger happy at key points in the game. Okay, even though that this New York Jets team is sitting at 5-5 and pretty much their playoff hopes are somewhat lost, this is a team that is not going to bend over and take it. They're going to come out and play each game like it is their last. So my young guys are going to have to enter this matchup very focused, taking care of the ball, and being very disciplined, sticking to our game plan. This is a real good Jets team who put together by far the most X Factor players besides the Cowboys on their roster. So this is a game that's going to come down to, like I said, can my guys be disciplined, stick to our game plan, and don't turn the ball over. I never pick against myself, so I'm taking my Pittsburgh Steelers, getting the W, going into Week 13. Next up, we have tight work in the Miami Dolphins versus T-Pain and the Detroit Lions. This is another matchup where it's going to come down to one thing and one thing only. Can tight work cover the spread, which is right now sitting at 21.5 points. Now, T-Pain's my guy, but the way that this Detroit Lions team is playing right now, they're playing like flat out garbage. And I don't understand what's going on with this organization, because they brought in some good talent this past offseason. But, like I said, this matchup is going to come down to one thing and one thing only. Can tight work cover the line, which is 21.5 points? I have tight work getting the W in this matchup. But the question mark for me is if he can cover this line. So, like I said, this is going to be an interesting game for the Miami Dolphins, but not the Detroit Lions. So, my pick, I'm taking tight work, Miami Dolphins getting a W, going to Week 13. Moving on, we have HBO and the Baltimore Ravens versus Bruce and those Cleveland Browns. The Ravens enter this matchup sitting at 7-3, riding a 3-game winning streak. This is a must-win game for you, HBO. You're going up against your division mate, who right now is currently leading the division. Okay, he's at the top half of the AFC conference. This is atmosphere. This is playoff atmosphere football right here. Okay, you're talking a lot of trash in the chat, so now this is your chance to show the DML what you can do. Okay, Bruce, you took a tough loss last week. Played against a top tier user. In my opinion, top 5 user in the DML. This is a bounce back week. Okay, the coaching staff is going to have to do better play calling in this matchup. All right, they're going to have to figure out how to get top guys in position to make plays. All right, and it starts with one thing and one thing only: your run game. You need more production out of your run game. After watching your team season after season after season, the focal point of your offense is your run game, which will allow a lot of things to become more easier and simpler. Okay, so this is the matchup right here where you need to get things back on the right track. HBO, I don't care what Vegas says, because right now Vegas has you favored by 2.5 points, but I don't know what Vegas was thinking, because they tripping right now. Because with my pick, I'm taking these Cleveland Browns, getting a W at home, smacking the crap out of these Baltimore Ravens, putting HBO back in his place. Now, those was the games. Now let's dive into the DML game of the week. Y'all already know who this matchup was going to be. We got 85 and those Houston Texans versus Expert and the Dallas Cowboys. Even though 85 is entering this matchup without X-Factor wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins, okay, who is sidelined due to a ruptured disc, Deshaun Watson is going to have to figure out the combination to beating this Cowboys defense, okay? This is a big moment for you. This is the time to show your team that you can rise up in a clutch game without your top threat wide receiver and secure them a W, keeping their playoff hopes alive, okay? The Dallas Cowboys coming to this matchup, the hottest team in the DML right now. They're sitting at 10-0, okay? Number 1 offense, number 1 defense. Jalen Smith is playing lights out football, sitting with a total of 17 INTs. And the offense is on a record pace to shattering the DML most points average per game right now, sitting at 40.5 points. This is must-watch football. We have 2 guys who are veterans in the DML, 2 guys who have hung multiple banners, 2 guys right now are playing at, I'm not going to say, because the Cowboys are balling out. The Houston Texans, they're balling out, but they're not playing that. In my opinion, they're not playing to that caliber right now that we're used to seeing them play. So this right now is one of the most balanced game of the weeks to date in the DML. But I gotta make a pick. You can't go wrong with either teams, man. And to make this matchup even better, these are 2 brothers going. It's gonna be a good matchup. It's gonna be a good matchup. But I gotta make a pick. And if I know that this is the user that can give Expert the first loss of the season, I would have to go with the Texans. So with my pick, I'm taking the Houston Texans getting a W on the road going into week 13. Now, those are my picks. Let's dive into the OG thoughts. Most explosive offense this week, I have to give it to Sweets 99 and those Arizona Cardinals. The air raid will be at home going up against a struggling Denver Broncos defense, who I don't think has a chance at all. Vegas has that line at 30 points, and Vegas has that line at 30 points for a reason, and I definitely think this offense is going to show out. Moving on, we got Mr. Stingy of the week. This was a no-brainer for me. I have Tyreek and the Miami Dolphins. They're going up against T-Pain, those Detroit Lions, who cannot seem how to produce a lick of anything on the offensive side of the ball. So Mr. Stingy of the week is going to have to go with the Tyreek and those Miami Dolphins. Next up, Casper of the week. The player that is going to flat out Casper it up, and I have to go with Lamar Jackson, quarterback of the Baltimore Ravens. When he played against this Cleveland Browns team before, turned the ball over 4 times. I don't see nothing being done different in this matchup, so I got Casper of the week going to Lamar Jackson. Casper. Moving on, breakout player of the week, Khalil Mack, going up against a struggling offensive line who would not be without their superstar X-Factor wide receiver. Got y'all guys stacking 8 in the box, taking away the run game, allowing you to get your stuff off on that quarterback, and this would be a no-brainer. Now, y'all got my picks. I got who I thought was going to be the most explosive offense of the week, Mr. Stingy of the week, Casper of the week. Drop a comment on who you think can fit in all these categories, what golden picks you got your locks on. I'm your host, OG Chris Murray. We out.